Thrusting techniques with a longsword are crucial for exploiting openings in an opponent's defense, delivering precise attacks to target areas with minimal exposure. Unlike cuts, which use the edge of the blade, thrusts utilize the point to penetrate or press against the opponent's armor or body. Here's a detailed exploration of thrusting techniques in longsword fencing. Basic thrust types: direct thrust. Stoss. A straightforward attack aimed directly at the opponent, typically executed from a guard like Flug or Oaks. The direct thrust seeks the shortest path to the target, often aiming for openings in the opponent's guard or body. Ascending thrust, delivered from a lower position, thrusting upwards towards the opponent's torso or face. This can be effective from guards like Albur. Descending thrust, performed from a high guard, thrusting downward at an angle, exploiting height and gravity for additional force, targeting the opponent's upper body or head. Mechanics of the thrust point alignment, ensuring the sword's point is accurately aligned with the target throughout the thrust. This involves both aim and maintaining control to prevent deflection, body posture, and alignment. The power of a thrust is greatly enhanced by proper body alignment. The fencer should align their shoulder, arm, and sword towards the target, using body weight and forward momentum to drive the point home. Footwork and distance. Effective thrusting relies on precise distance management. Advancing or lunging footwork can close the distance, making the thrust harder to defend against and more powerful. Advanced thrusting techniques: feeling. Sensing the opponent's intentions and strength through blade contact, adjusting the thrust in response to their movements or pressure. Durchlaufen, running through. Following a thrust with forward momentum, potentially leading to grappling or close quarters techniques if the initial thrust doesn't end the engagement. Umsetzen, displacement. Using a thrust to displace or control the opponent's blade, often by pushing it aside or engaging in a bind to create an opening for the thrust. Zucken, pulling. A technique where, upon finding resistance or a parry against the initial thrust, the fencer withdraws the blade slightly and redirects it to another opening, integrating thrusts into combat. From the bind. After blades come into contact, a fencer can maneuver their point into position for a thrust, exploiting control over the opponent's weapon. Combination with cuts. Thrusts can be effectively combined with cuts in a sequence of attacks, using cuts to create openings for thrusts or vice versa. Counter thrusts. Responding to an opponent's attack with a thrust either by exploiting an opening or by using superior positioning and timing to interrupt their action. Thrusting techniques, due to their focused and penetrating nature, require careful practice, especially when sparring. Use blunt or flexible training weapons designed to minimize injury risk, and always wear appropriate protective gear, including throat and chest protection. Training under supervision ensures that both the execution and defense against thrusts are learned safely and effectively. Mastering thrusting techniques enhances a fencer's repertoire, allowing for precise, controlled attacks that can exploit the smallest openings in an opponent's defense. This mastery, combined with a solid understanding of distance, timing, and strategy, makes for a formidable longsword practitioner. When writing, remember that characters do not stop moving because they have been thrust through. Almost always, they still swing. In fact, if you want something more realistic, they'll scream. Just remember that. Anyway, Jayce ran here. Over and out.